Welcome to the 2014 Paralympics from beautiful Sochi, Russia in wheelchair curling. Today we feature the semifinals. The match we will be watching will be Canada with 7 wins and 2 losses in the 9-game round robin. They will be playing China. China with a record of 5-4 in their first Paralympics in curling. The Pipers of Scotland heighten the prestige of this event as they drum and pipe their players and the fans ready for this semi-final action. Here we get a look at the crystalline pebble. Looks like the frozen pebble. Camera giving us an excellent shot of it. Quite humid in the arena today. 41% humidity. The ice conditions perfect. We've seen great conditions all through the round robin, which has featured fantastic play inside of the ice cube. Beautiful arena here in Sochi, Russia. Pipers head back down on the sideboard. There we look at the semifinals, leading to the gold medal game. Russia plays Great Britain in the game we will feature today's Canada-China. The winners will play for gold. The teams not so successful today will play for bronze. 4 sheets of ice inside of the ice cube for these Paralympics. Only 2 sheets in action today. Sheet A and Sheet B. Our game will be featured on Sheet D. The Pipers just finishing it up and giving everyone a rousing start to this match. Look towards the media center, at the far end of the ice cube. Great ice given to us as master ice maker. Technician Scott Henderson. And let's meet Team Canada, Sonia Goody, Hall of Famer at lead position. At second, Dennis Thiessen, the 52-year-old from Winnipeg.
Hi, everybody in Vernon.
Ina Forrest
Armstrong
from Vernon.
Thank you.
And the skip, Jim Armstrong from Vancouver. This is the defending gold medal team from 2010. They will be playing the 8 Redstones in this match, and their 5th is Mark Idison, the alternate. And Canada looking for the three-peat. They're going against a young upstart team today in their first Paralympics. Look at Canada's results. Great Britain with a 6-3 record, and Canada was 7-2 in the round robin. And look at this young team from China at lead. Zhu Zhangqing, the lead. At second position, Zhang Zhang. Playing third. Moved up from second, Liu Wei. And it's Skip. Wang Haitao. Skip and fourth for this team. Team China at an average age of 28 is the youngest team in this competition. And their alternate player, Hong Yun. China in their first Paralympics. They played in 4 previous Worlds. We look at their record of 5-4. Started with a loss and win-loss. We're going back and forth and finished off with 2 good wins against Finland and Great Britain to make it into these semifinals. Teams with their customary handshake, each wishing each other well, and a quick team meeting before we begin play. Now Canada, because they had this better record at 7 wins and 2 losses compared to China's 5-4, Canada will be automatically given the last stone in this opening end. China will start it off. Those of you new to curling are sure to fall in love with this sport, the strategy of it, great shot making. Wheelchair curling played its first World Championship in 2002 and was first in the Paralympics 2006 in Turin, as you might know it. And Canada, in 06 and 2010, came away with gold. So Canada looking for the three-peat, and China trying to see if they can knock them off. And wheelchair curling. Must be both genders on the ice at all times. So it is the only team sport in the Paralympics where men and women compete on an even playing field. Players here throwing with a delivery stick, not from the customary hack. Let's meet the Zhu Zhangqing, the lead of the team from the People's Republic of China. Don't the advantage of last stone. They play towards the middle and towards the ring. Very nice weight, and by weight I mean the speed, force put on the stone. Stones weigh 42 pounds, but the weight in curling refers to the amount of speed thrown. And this team, Zhu from Harbin, China, 23-year-old, and all these players compete out of Harbin. That is the hub capital of curling in China. Let's meet Sonia Goody, 47-year-old from Vernon, British Columbia in Canada. Good percentages for the tournament, 56%. And she's got quite the resume. She was on the team that won gold in '06 in Torino, and then 2010 she was part of this team with Jim Armstrong. And won gold in Vancouver, and she also had 3 world golds in '09 and 2011 and 2013. So quite the resume for Sonia Goody. And she's known, her nickname is the Brain, and she gets that from the balance post, which she invented for her wheelchair to help her with the delivery part. China now with their next stone. It'll be interesting in this match to see if China, the way more inexperienced team here, can keep up. Team Canada. Team Canada trying to win their 3rd gold, 3rd Paralympics in a row. And China, coming into the match, they said, we're looking forward to this. If there's anybody we wanted to play coming in this event, it was Canada. They're always the team to beat. China looking for a great match here. And Zhu, in her first Paralympics, has played in 4 World Championships, getting 3rd in 2012 and 2013. Sonia married her husband Dan Goudet. Children Allison and Colton. She's a teacher at Okanagan College, and her motto, giving up is not an option. She was the flag bearer for Canada in the opening ceremonies just over a week ago. Just a rub on that, so a miss from Sonia, and that stone really close to the button. Good stone for China to guard, and after the 8 red and 8 yellow stones have been played during the end, then the score is tabulated at the final spot. And Sonia loves kayaking, fishing, and cross-country skiing, and camping. And China now with a chance for the guard here. Each team started this game with 68 minutes on their time clocks. And let's now meet the second. For Team China, Shang Xian. Tournament actually 49%. And he gets low in his delivery with the stick, more than any other person in the event. With a nice guard. Just overthrows that center line, and pretty fair guard. Canada won't be able to see much of that stone in behind. Increase the degree of difficulty for Canada. Nice shot there by Zheng. Team Canada, the oldest team in these Paralympics, averaging 50 years of age. So 50 years old going against an average of 28 years of age. Dennis Thiessen, the second man on this team, going at a 50% pace in the 9 games during the round robin. He'll chip the guard off. That's a good shot. That was an either-or. Get the guard or the stone in behind, but don't miss. Everything was definitely the philosophy for Canada on that shot. Certainly the difference in wheelchair curling as compared to regular able-bodied. In wheelchair, the absence of sweeping. So there is no sweepers to help the stone run straighter, or take it 5 or 10 feet further along the line, or to tweak the line and make a stone run straighter. So the players must be more precise, right out of the hack, right out of their stick, right on the throw. Second for China with his second stone in this end. So with the 4 players, 8 stones, they throw 2 stones each. Lead, second, third skip, alternating with the opposition. And at the conclusion of the end, the number of stones closer for one team than the other team's best stone, which count. And China presently lying 2. If the end was to end right now, at the conclusion, China will get 2, Canada nothing. Only one team can count per end. A little bit deep into the rinks there for Zhang. Canada will definitely be able to hit that stone and stay. Either one would be good for them. Wide open hit. Dennis Thiessen, married. Wife's name is Helene. They have 3 children. In his first Paralympics, and he has been in one World Championship before, and that was last year right here in Sochi, Russia. World Championships were held here as a test event, and Canada won gold, the same Jim Armstrong team. So Armstrong, the defending world champion, as well as defending Paralympic champion as well. So this Team Canada with a big, big resume. Nice hit and roll in behind that corner guard by Dennis. Will make it difficult for China. Now the third for China. Liu Wei, 61%. Boy, he gets even lower than his second counterpart. Way down, very, very low in his chair. 29-year-old from Harbin. He's out of the High-Jailing Wheelchair Curling Club. In his first Paralympics, he's been in 4 World Championships and got a bronze in 2012 and 2013. And this entire team from Harbin has pretty much been playing together since 2007. And they all took up wheelchair curling. Now let's meet the third, Ina Forrest, a left-hander. Vernon, British Columbia, born in Fort St. John in northern British Columbia. In her second Paralympics, won gold in Vancouver. And listen to her resume on 6 World Championships attempts. She has 3 gold. And she has been the #1 player amongst all of the 10-thirds in this competition, clicking at 60%. A pretty wide open end this first one as Ina makes a hit and stay. She's a business owner in Vernon, British Columbia, and her hero is Steve Nash of the NBA basketball. Definitely the lowest delivery that we've seen from Liu Wei.
Hurry up!
The intern hit, and Team China does prefer the intern just slightly. They'll throw more interns, and it does seem with most teams it's a little easier for them to throw the intern with the stick than it is the outturn. Whereas in regular able-bodied, after many years of curling it, it's surprising how many of the regular curlers in able-bodied prefer the outturn. That's their bread and butter turn. Of course, they are putting the turn on with the hand, so it's a little different feeling than with the stick. A little easier to get that intern on the stick. More teams playing higher percentages on the intern. Kind of playing the takeout. And Canada has just come off what you'd call the biggest roller coaster ever in their second last match of the round robin. They defeated Slovakia by a score of 16-0. That was a record for the most points ever scored in a Paralympic curling game. It was also the greatest margin of 16 points in Paralympic curling. And then, wouldn't you know, the next game they play Finland, who had only 1 win. Last game of the round robin, Finland had them down 12-0. So Canada went from the top of the roller coaster to the bottom of the roller coaster in a hurry. So Canada coming off a game where they really got kicked by Finland, and now having to come and play well right here. China won their last match of the round robin against Great Britain. It was a must-win for them to make the playoffs. The skip, Wang Haitao, 24-year-old, the only lefty skip in the competition. Also at the Hailey Zhongjing Wheelchair Curling Club. The same resume as the other players on his team. In his first Paralympics, he's played in 4 Worlds, won bronze in 2012 and 2013. And the team all began playing together in 2007. In their first Worlds in 2009, they were 8th. In 2011, they were 5th. But in 2012 and 2013, with this same team, they got bronze. Now we meet Jim Armstrong, the skip of Team Canada, the captain. Lives in Vancouver, a former dentist. Began curling at the age of 8. Out of Victoria, now 63 years old. And he's a Hall of Famer in Canada. On the regular side, able-bodied. Played in 6 Briers, which is the biggest competition attendance-wise in the world. To win a Brier in Canada is really something. on to the World Championships. Jim only 47% in the tournament, definitely not his best. Just all of the teams really struggled with the ice early on, which was curling about 4.5 feet. It's settled down now to about 3.5 feet of curl and a draw, so much easier for wheelchair curlers who don't have the advantage of sweepers to hold the stone straight. So these are the same stones that were used in the Olympics just a couple weeks ago, and they were absolutely great stones and a great amount of curl for the able-bodied curlers. And for wheelchair curling, they like just a little bit less curl. You see the bottom of the stone, the blue hone granite on the bottom, which is a dense granite, impervious to water, really formed for a good sliding surface on ice. The ice is pebbled before the game. Curling stones like just a little bit of airflow into the stone. Curling stones do not slide well on perfectly flat ice. It's like a plunger on the floor where you try to pull it and it won't move. A little bit of airflow. Hence the pebble, frozen droplets on the water, of water onto the ice before the match. No, very accurate first end here from both teams, curling high numbers. Canada at 86% in this first end, and People's Republic of China at 84%. So both playing a very good end, although it has been wide open, just basically takeout after takeout, and a few draws here thrown in, but no guards to deal with. Nothing to increase the degree of difficulty for either side.
Make it go away.
This the last stone, the hammer, as it's known at the first end. And players in wheelchair curling do not deliver from the hack, but from a position between the rings and the first hog line, and the teammate can brace the chair from behind. Now Jim, if he hits and stays, we'll count one here. If he hits and rolls out, it would be a blank, and Canada would retain the advantage of the last stone going into the next end. It's a hit, and will Jim hit and stay or roll out? Just hits and stays, but Canada has the only stone in the rings at the conclusion of the end. That one is 12-foot ring, the red ring. The red is 12, the white is 8, and the blue is the 4-foot in diameter with the white button. Canada with the early score.
I never have the legs or blanket.
And Jim saying you can't throw that out turn very hard.
I never have the legs on the blanket. Okay, good start. Safe. Just got tight under a second. Didn't do anything with it. Just tight.
Canada with a better start than they had in their last match against Finland, where they ended up trailing at 12-0, and they couldn't believe it themselves how things could have gone so wrong. And Jim said it was one of his mom told him there would be days like that, and it was one for them. And this crowd here at the Ice Cube, very, very noisy, appreciating the fine play by all of the four teams in the semifinals. And those four teams are Canada against China and host Russia against Great Britain. Well, Canada scored, so they will play the opening stone of the second end with their 1-0 lead so far on the scoreboard. And both teams started at 68 minutes, and both have just around 61 minutes left. So Canada's clock will be running here just as soon as they get this stone past the first hog line. And there's a first hog line and a second hog line. The player must release the stone before the first hog line, and that's not a problem in wheelchair curling, but it certainly is in regular curling, where sensor handles are used to basically referee. Electronic sensor handles referee the hog line. And there were a few fouls during the Olympics, and the stones were removed for being over the line. And the stone must be entirely over the second hog line to be in play. And you might say, why would anybody ever call it a hog line? Well, this game goes back to the 1600s of Scotland, and there are quite a few terms that go back to the olden days. The rings are known as the house. Playing on this end, the second end is known as coming to the home end. The last end is called going home or coming home. Two hog lines. I guess in the olden days of Scotland, the animals came to the curling as well on the locks of Scotland when the locks froze. And the call went out for players to bring their stones and play the grand match. And nowadays the curling stones are all uniform in size. These stones, 42 inches in weight, 11.5 inches in diameter. Beautiful granite.
悬，
cars
好几个保安
and granite
掉了，他要
collected
掉的
from
话
the
没人碰不着了，
island of
一下
Alpha
就
Trade.
掉，
就说有点小，
是吧？
有点对我手不对。你上往上顶。
So China, the young upstarts, trying to stay with Canada
你出点。
in this match.
对，是的。
And you know, it would be like, can the age and guile and cunning of Canada overcome the youth and exuberance of China in this match? It'll be very interesting to see how it turns out. Ina bracing the chair for Sonia. You see the end of the delivery stick, grabbing onto the handle of the curling stone. Now the players can throw by hand or with the stick. But all of the players from the 10 countries in this competition all use the stick. They can throw more accurately and with more force using the stick. Of course, there's a lot of varieties. Russia uses a longer one, about 2 or 3 feet longer. And all of them, I would say every country looking for the very best technology for the end of that stick to grasp onto the handle of the curling stone. China with the advantage of the last stone here. They're playing the hit. They could also draw down to this and use the stone for protection, make it more difficult for Canada to take out that stone past their own. So quite often in curling, you use the other team's stones against them, drawing down with them or drawing in behind them. Well, this one's deep in the ring, so it's an easier one to just draw down in front of it. China will play the hit.
上线就行了。
好的。
Xu, the lead player, his team out of Harbin. Her hobby is swimming. And she was selected into this team. She was noticed as being a very good athlete in swimming, and they said, well, how about trying curling? They were putting together a team in 2007 after the first Paralympics had been played in 2006. Just going by that stone miss for China. After that first Paralympics in 2006, China was reorganizing to put a team together. In 2007, they began assembling this team, choosing players from various sports. They're looking for good athletes. Thiessen, second man, loves woodworking. I'd like to see his team work in some good ends in this game. Like I mentioned, what a roller coaster it has been for them, beating Slovakia 16-0, and then in the next match, trailing Finland, last place Finland by 12-0. So, wow, there's a roller coaster.
Down that side.
Thiessen, his motto, live, dream, and enjoy. He's been in one World Championship and one gold. That was right here last year when the World Championships were played here in Sochi. And that was a test event, and it gives a chance for the ice makers to have a chance in the building to work on ice and see how it will be for the Olympics and Paralympics. And also a chance for all of the volunteer squads to have a shot at running an event. Another miss from China. Just a little bit too, not enough weight on that, not enough speed in this course. With less speed, we're showing the curl mode. That take out a little bit underweight. Plenty of curl there towards the center from the side. And I call this ice 4x4, and the fact that most of the draw shots go about 4 feet towards the center and about 4 or 4 feet towards the outside as well. And during the Olympics, that was about 4.5, and now it's down with the ice is tightened up just a little bit, down to about 3.5 feet of curl. The ice technician Scott Henderson has been working hard to give these players the amount of curl they would like. In Canada, drawn to the rings, to be lying 3. They do not have the advantage of last stone, but they are testing. China might a little bit in this game. And the other test event was last March here, the World Junior Championships. Was held here, right in Sochi. And of course, the Olympics were here a couple weeks ago. So this is the 4th event, ever held inside of the ice cube. Xiang, 34-year-old from Harbin. loves playing guitar, and of course he began in 2007. And he was recommended to this team as well. And then hit and roll just past that, sticks his nose well out the other side. And Harbin is the capital and the largest city in the Heilongjiang province, in the very, very northeast part, the finger that sticks up in China. And Harbin is the 8th most populous Chinese city with 6 million people. Most populous in that northeast part of China. It is also the coldest winters among the major cities of China. And Harbin is known as the Ice City. And here they are from the Ice City, curling in the Ice Cube.
12 and a half.
Canada shot stone. They're closer to the center, the button area, than China. So Jim Armstrong playing a bit of a gamble here. Rather than playing the takeout on the yellow one, he will ask Ina Forrest to guard their own stone. Ina married. Her husband's name is Curtis. They have 3 children. She's an English history major.
Wait, Ina.
Went to Simon Fraser University in Burnaby, BC, in Canada. Jim Armstrong said of their early start in this event, he said, we won in spite of ourselves. He says, we were struggling. He says, I was struggling. He says, I think it was the rocks. These are the different rocks than were used in the World Championships last year. These are more aggressive. They curl more. And of course, that made it harder to read the ice and control the amount of curl. And Jim said, of course, it's the same for everybody. Now the lowest, by far the lowest delivery in Paralympic wheelchair curling this year, that belonging to Liu Wei. He likes to yell. Of course, there's no sweeping in wheelchair curling, but you can sure yell at that stone. Wow, what a great shot. He makes the double, and he makes Armstrong pay for that decision to guard rather than take out the yellow. Beautiful stone by way, and the crowd really appreciate that, and they like his exuberance. And of course, this match today is all about youth and exuberance. Overcome the experience and guile and cunning of many years of experience in curling. And this team from China only playing since 2007. And Jim Armstrong started curling at the age of 8, about 50 years before that. Ina Forrest looking for a double of her own. She loves horses and photography. She began curling in 2004 in Vernon, BC. Nice little hit and a bit of an inside roll will make it difficult for China to see that stone in its entirety. And she said her most memorable was winning the gold in Vancouver 2010 in the Paralympic wheelchair curling. She carries a mojo bag with her all the time to help her with her focus. And as I mentioned, she was the top 3rd during the round robin play. A very steady player and made it easier on Jim. Thirds curling that great. You don't have to go to the well and have the skip save situations nearly as many times. Liu Wei, 29-year-old, yelling hurry hard, and sometimes those curling stones will listen if you yell loud enough. Ooh, just chips his own. Removes it from play, and that was the gamble with that stone. Very touchy shot. A little bit of over curl, and he caught the end of his own stone and spun it over the top of his one on the side of the rings. All of a sudden, China lost the great end which they had going. The quiver goes back into the back of the chair. We'll have to wait for another time to throw. And Jim Armstrong must feel
a little tighter than practice.
It is a little tighter, yeah.
Must feel a little bit of relief.
A touch less, Ina.
Jim began wheelchair curling in 2007 as well, and he started out as a consultant with the Canadian Curling Association to wheelchair curling. Well, Jim, during his able-bodied days in curling, as I mentioned, played in 6 Briers and lost a Brier final. He played 3rd for Bernie Sparks in 1987 when they lost the Canadian final to Russ Howard. Russ went on to win the World Championship that year. But Jim, even though he's a very big, powerful man. Huge neck, huge shoulders. Even in his regular able-bodied curling days, he always was a very soft player. He always had a fine touch and through the lighter weight removals did not throw the huge peel that a lot of players do nowadays. And Jimbo I call him, but he's called the big man, the big guy by his players on his team. The outspoken skip team always has lots to say in the interviews.
2 or 3 feet, so we need it.
Jim in this competition has really been mild-mannered and taking it easy. Nothing seems to have bothered him, not even being down 12-0 the other day to Finland. And that was a chance for Canada to win first place in the round robin. And they would have played fourth place instead. They dropped to second place in behind Russia. With their 7-2 record, here they are against China, the third place team with a record of 5-4. Those records matter no more. And it's all about who can win this match and move on to the gold medal game. The loser gets to play for bronze. A nice hit and stay, but only second shot stone. And Jim could hit or he could draw in behind the corner guard. No, pardon me. It is China with shot stone, so he does have to hit. Yes. Where are those glasses of mine? I will find them. Hold on, here they are. Okay. China shot stone.
I won't be babying this, but
by babying, he means he won't be throwing real soft weight. He would like to throw soft weight, better chance of hitting and staying in play. Does not want to roll out. But because this is over by the sideboards and this is fresh ice that has not been played, Jim will attempt to keep his weight up. See how this one runs for him. A retired dentist. Set of wheelchair curling, he says it's been a real second life for me. Wow, beautiful shot. He had the nice board weight, just enough to go to the backboards. A set of wheelchair curling, it was a whole new learning curve for him, so even at my age. Nice inside roll two. Canada line two. They don't have last stone, so they will force China to have to come up with the goods here. In China, there's no way they can blank this in for no score. They will have to attempt to take one, but if they happen to miss here, Canada could steal one or two. The skip, long high toe. 24-year-old, the youngest skip in the competition and the only left-hander. Said earlier on in the competition, we need to be more consistent. We've been up one game and down another. Well, he carried the torch through Harbin in the lead up to the 2010 Asian Games in China. He throw the big weight with accuracy. Will hit. Will he stay for shot stone? Row too far. China will be second shot stone. Canada first. So it'd be a steal of one for Canada. Well, that's a break for Canada. They jump into a 2-0 lead. Armstrong feeling good about that end. His team played well.
okay, safe end, safe end, safe end. Good safe end.
Good job, guys. Good work.
So, once again, now they got to come down.
Yeah.
We'll turn into the shooting gallery for a while. Give them last throw.
Each team having a short meeting before we start the third end of play. And definitely the experience of Jim Armstrong could really play a big part. Whether or not his team can three-peat, Canada to win gold and 3 Paralympic wheelchair championships in a row. Armstrong definitely the most experienced of any player here. Started to curl at the age of 8 and so 63 years old. He's got 50 years of more experience in curling. He's played in 6 Briars in Canada and many, many big competitions on the Cashfield circuit in Canada over the years. So tons of experience, but on the other hand, at 63, these young upstarts coming into the game, in particular this team from China, averaging 28 years old, they can throw with a little bit more weight and accuracy, so Jim trying to get by on his experience. And Jim a very smart skip. He said, now we lead it 2-0. He said, now they have to come to us. Canada can play a little conservative here. And China's the team that has to gamble. They're down 2-0. Jim is a very crafty skip. Sonia Goody, her opening stone of this third inning, just slides out the back door. Sliding out the back 12-foot. 12-foot is red, 8-foot white, 4-foot blue, and the button with the Paralympic logo and the pinhole right at the center. 4-foot, 8-foot, 12-foot in diameter across the tee line. And the tee line in curling is also the sweeping line in regular able-bodied curling, where a team can begin to sweep and sweep out an opponent's stone when it crosses that line. Of course, no sweeping here in wheelchair, just lots of yelling. And the odd time the curling stone can get scared, and we'll listen to all that yelling.
11秒69
11秒69，力量大了。哇，流里边是。
Lots of yelling on that stone. Will it hang on? Oh, yes, just biting the back. And any stone in the rings counts equal value, no matter whether it's in the 4-foot, 8-foot, or 12-foot, or on the button. And even stones just barely biting the rings, like that one is just a nibbler, just a little bit of an alligator on the edge of the rings, nipping away at the rings. It can count a point too. Sonia looking for a better result on this throw. She's playing at 50% so far, 67% on her takeouts. And this is her fourth takeout of the game. This has been a very wide open match so far. We really haven't seen any offense drawing around guards. Nice hit and stay. In a normal game of the 16 shots which Sonia would throw in a game, she'd probably play 13 draws and maybe 3 takeouts. Well, this game has been so open so far, she's played 4 takeouts and only 2 draws. So nobody's really got into the draw game in behind guards yet, trying to really go after the other team and increase difficulty. It's been a very, very wide open affair, and I'm surprised China is hitting this stone. It's way deep in the rings. They could draw down in front of it, make it difficult for Canada to remove. They could even freeze right onto that stone. And this is their opportunity. They trail at 2-0. Perhaps this is the inexperience of China. They might be a team that's really good on their front running when they're ahead. They might not have the strategy for the comeback. A hit there and roll out doesn't accomplish anything for them. They need to score points. They had an opportunity to use Canada's stone against them. It was a stone way deep in the rings. They could have drawn down just in front of it. They did make the takeout and roll out. Canada with 52 minutes, and China, and with the amount of hitting that's been going on and very little strategy to talk about, both teams are playing very quickly. And both will have a lot of time banked at the later end. With a draw toward the center. It is quite slick though. Nice draw weight. Just in front of that tee line, which is more like a sweeping line. After sweeping opponent's stone out into the goal over that line.
See, yeah. Number 1. Yeah. That's why I figured it.
This is definitely a better reason for hitting this stone. It's more of a guardable stone by Canada. So trying to play the hit here. They certainly could have drawn it the other way. That would have been a better strategy. A good hit here. Test Canada to see if Canada can hit and stay. And Harbin, definitely the curling capital of China. And the regular able-bodied curling, it's Wang Binghu.
Just make sure.
From China, who's won a world championship on the women's side, winning in Korea. Both the teams from China did well, just missing the playoffs during the Olympics here in Sochi in 2014. And then skip Lu Wei, very good, strong Chinese team as well. They finished 4th. They lost the bronze medal game. Sweden. Boy, both teams very good on the hit today. Just look at the hitting stats. For Canada, Goody 75%, Thiessen 100%, Ina Forrest 100%, and Jim Armstrong 100%. They were hitting fiends today. They were hitting and staying on everything.
Let's go, guys.
Canada have an exceptionally good hitting game, and that beckons well for Canada. The fact that they are having an accurate game today. Nobody's really tested out the draw weight that much, so the action hasn't really begun yet. Canada, with their 2-0 lead, really likes this simple end, and Armstrong said, let's be patient with the 2-0 lead. They have to come to us. And China hasn't come to them so far. China has just also played a very, very defensive end. And hit and stay, well, definitely a more difficult stone to hit. Always more tough to hit over by the boards than right down the center lane of the rings. Definitely more untested ice out in this area. Teams haven't played it as much. It's a different angle to throw on, too. Armstrong will toss out about 14 to 16 inches of ice. The player throws at the brush's target and then has calculated the amount of curl he would expect on this outturn, the counterclockwise rotation. The end turn for Ina Forrest. Curling 100% on her 3 takeouts, 81% for the game. So Canada curling big numbers compared to their last game, the round robin against Finland, where they could not make anything. Definitely tougher to hit here.
Good girl.
Makes a nice hit and stay. Very nice shot by Ina.
Yes.
And when you look at Team Canada, the team that won gold 4 years ago in Vancouver, Jim Armstrong was the skip, Ina Forrest was the third, Sonia Goody at that time was the second, she's the lead here. A man by the name of Daryl Neighbor was the lead player, and Bruno Zyrek was the lead. Pardon me, was the alternate. They're playing the hit here as well. Hit, and he'll stay around, gets the roll towards the center. Lu Wei. And Canada also won the gold in Torino in 2006 in Paralympic wheelchair curling. In Turin, that was a different team though. It was skipped by Chris Daw. But Sonia Goody, the lead player here, was also on that team. So Sonia looking for her 3rd gold if the team can crack off 2 more wins here at wheelchair curling at the Paralympics 2014 in Sochi. The first World Championship was 2002 in Sochi, Switzerland, wheelchair curling, and the first appearance in Paralympic curling was 2006 in Torino. And yes, Chris Daw from Canada won. He beat Frank Duffy from Great Britain. 9-6. Ina with good shots. Still 100% on her hits, and wow, Canada really running up the numbers.
Safe.
Playing well. From Canada, Jim says, yeah, we're just playing safe so far.
They've obviously had instructions to just run with us.
Yeah, and Jim, the great strategist back there, saying obviously Team China by their coach has been told just to keep it close, not too much gambling, just to keep it close in these first 4 ends, the first half of the game. So Jim has it figured out. Jim, the master strategist. Just a miss there by Team China. And Lu Wei, and the crowd goes gasps at the miss. It's always tough. This one striking band just barely misses. The striking band, that's the band on the edge of the stone, which is a little bit granite ground, just a little bit different way. These stones, as mentioned, come from the island of Elsa Craig, 10 kilometers or so off the coast of Scotland.
Same as the outturn this way.
And the granite is a gray-green granite.
Touch less.
And it's harvested from the beach areas on Elsa Craig, where large boulders lay there to be harvested by machinery and taken by boatload to the mainland. In the factory, they start out as huge blocks which are ground down to this beautiful shape of a curling stone. Ground down, polished to the nth degree, And then the insert bottom part is a blue hole.
Slow down. What is it? No.
Granite, which is the hardest of sliding granite. Impervious to water. Jim Bow with a little too much speed on that one. Passed it right through, and a chance missed here for Canada. A nice draw would have really forced China. They have to play well. Now China can hit you out. Doesn't matter as long as they don't miss it. This has always been a little bit testy for draw weight. Generally, if you look at the percentages for players overall through the entire championship, most teams having a higher hit percentage than a draw percentage. And just imagine if you don't have sweepers to carry that stone that extra 5 or 10 feet for you, well, it's sometimes much easier just to be real accurate out of that with a takeout out of the hat. Draw weight a little bit tougher to find. Draw weight can change a lot during the game and from game to game. The hit by China roll out. Jim with nothing to shoot at will test his draw weight again, a chance to practice in case he has to make a big draw later.
Or what did I have? 3-4 feet through?
Oh yeah, sure.
Was it? Well, let's get back and I'll just pull it back.
There's a quick path there.
Jim with mentioned a chance to practice his draw weight in the shot. He said yes, coming in against China, he didn't know exactly what to expect. He knew that they were a young team. Canada had defeated them during the round robin.
Hey, Jim. I just didn't get out of that sweet path.
It's a quick path, yeah, for sure.
So we'll throw it again.
Yeah.
But if we look at Canada in their 9 games and their 7-2 record, they scored 62 points and gave up 42 for a plus 24 differential. They really played good. And then they also did. There was just one game where they gave up 12 points to Finland. So basically, their defense has been really, really good. That's kind of what they do. Is they play really good defense, and then they look for their spots where they can go on the offense. Jim, a very smart skip, uses patience. Needs this one to crawl into the ring, but won't quite make it. We'll see if China decides to score here or throw through and blank the end. They have yet to hit the scoreboard.
It's in there or not? I can't see it. There. No, it's not. Okay.
Well, they won't hit that stone, but the option is to draw for one. Now, in regular able-bodied curling, we'd probably see the decision made just to blank this end and throw it through and retain the advantage of last stone for the next coming end. But in wheelchair, a lot more teams like to count. Make sure and get one here and then go on offense without the hammer the next end. We'll see what China does. Looks like they're attempting to play into the rings. The draw weight is pretty good. That stone just crawls into the top 12 foot at the 1 o'clock position. It will be a count of 1 for China. A very, very sparse first 3 ends. Not too many rocks in play in the opening trio games. China pretty excited to be on the board. On the scoreboard, that is. They count 1 and trail it by a score of 2-1 after 3 ends to defending champions Canada, who are looking for the three-peat. Torino, Vancouver, Sochi. Will they be able to do it? And Sonia looking for a three-peat of her own, having won gold in Torino and Vancouver. In the first 3 ends, I don't think there was more than 1 or 2 stones in play. Well, there was 3. The second end, there was 3 in the rings at one time. We have hardly seen a guard up in front of the rings yet. We'll see if China now goes on the offense with a guard. If they'll still stay defensive. It seemed that their objective early in this game was just to stay close with Canada, make sure it was a close match. China in their 9 matches, 5-4 record. They scored 54 and gave away 45 for a +9. So both teams on the plus side, China +9, Canada +24. So Canada definitely and score in bigger bunches.
多少？
Canada won the round robin game against China 8-5. So the story of this match really is, you know, can this young team from the People's Republic of China, 28 years on average, they have a shot knocking off the defending champions, the oldest team, 50 years old in the competition. I know the gals on Team Canada will say, Ed, stop that, don't do that. Nobody has to know. Canada playing well on their draws so far. Canada with the better of it so far, averaging 71%. Against China, 66%. Now that stone just stopped short of the rings in what is called the free guard zone, the FGZ, the free guard zone. And the rule states, the four rock rule, that no stone of the opponents can be totally removed from that area of play until after the fourth stone at the end has been played. So basically, the lead stones are protected. Why is that rule there? Well, in the 1980s in curling, able-bodied hitting became so strong that there was very few stones in play. It was hit, hit, hit. And so the rule came along to get more stones in play. It was that area in front of the ring, the three guard zone, where guards could be played early. Just managed to get the team to have to build a better field of play. If teams wanted more action. Of course, lots of teams do nowadays. It's all about going after the other team a lot of times and really forcing the game in behind guards, making it tough on the opponent, hiding stones in behind cover. Canada now with the advantage of last stone, the hammer on this end, and there we see that balance post. And Sonia just holds on to that, and that's her nickname, the Brain. She invented that. Placed onto her chair and helps her to stabilize during the throw. And so does the holding of Ina Forrest in behind. Braces the chair for her. And we've seen all sorts of sticks being involved in this competition. As mentioned, Russia uses a longer one by about 2 feet with more of a swinging motion to it. Like a back and forth swinging low motion. But all of them seem to have a bit different type of grasping part that holds on to the hammer of the stone. So technology playing a big part. Nice weight by Sonia, a teacher at Okanagan College in Vernon, British Columbia. She loves cross-country skiing and camping, fishing and kayaking. She started curling in 2003 in Vernon and trains 8 months of the year. And the second for China, Sean King. This team plays out of the Harley-Jean Curling Club. In the Harbin area. And for all of this team, China at least began as a team in 2007, their first Paralympics. And they played in 3 World Championships before getting bronze in 2012 in Korea. And bronze again in 2013 right here in Sochi. Quite a tame game so far. Both teams playing conservative. Allows them to play a bit higher percentages too when the shots aren't quite so difficult. Thiessen didn't like that throw. See what he gets. Make contact. Well, not that bad. Where he hit and stay in behind the other corner. Well, for a throw that sounded terrible out of his hand, worked out pretty good. The hit and roll in behind the other corner guard. Not bad at all. The man who began wheelchair curling 2005 at the Assiniboia Curling Club in Winnipeg, and that Winnipeg club watching close this match today. There are around 25 curling clubs right in that Winnipeg area. And Canada, over 800 curling clubs across the expanse, 3,000 miles of the country, and over 1 million curlers in Canada. far fewer in China. Most of them up in that colder area, close to Harbin, known as the Ice City. And here we are in the Ice Cube in Sochi, Russia. Rub on that top stone. And chips the yellow one just out of the rings. It's not biting. About an inch or two out. So Canada with advantage here. Leads it 2-1. And they also have the hammer and also have a stone right in front of the rings which they can tap up. And timely miss though. Chang Chiang. And the ambition for China, they said, was the medal here in 2014. The youngest team in the competition. They're showing some of the older teams how to do it. And they would like to show Canada. This game on sheet A, the red stone is numbered from 1 to 8. Generally the leads throw 1-2, the seconds 3-4, thirds 5-6, skips 7-8. But of course, if a player doesn't like a stone, you certainly could persuade the players from the team to change with you. Oh, it's a beautiful shot by Dennis. The raise, it's fully buried, almost fully buried, well in front of the tee line. That's about as good as you could do that. Couldn't have carried it down there any better. And Dennis likes that shot. Great shot. He said a friend introduced him to curling and he fell in love with the sport. And their goal, Canada's gold in Sochi 2014. For Canada, probably gold is the only medal that they would really love here. Because they're used to winning that. But, you know, things do change if it doesn't happen. But certainly for Canada, their gold coming in here was gold. And for China, to medal. That was what they wanted. That one shot stone still belongs to Canada. It's buried in behind the corner guard. China, realizing they're in a bit of trouble here, Canada will not play a hit on that back stone, but try to use the stone against China by just drawing down in front of it.
Yeah.
Canada's already shot behind the guard. So now they'll just use that other stone, draw right down in front of it.
Well,
Perhaps a good shot here sets up a 3-ender. China not able to perhaps get that guard from the stone from behind the guards. And if this one gets welded onto the back yellow, it might be very difficult to remove as well. So Canada now making the game just a little bit more complex with the hammer. The Armstrong team was really going after this end. With a 2-1 lead in the advantage of the last stone. It's a great saying in curling, up with.
That works.
And Canada is 1 up with the advantage of the last stone. And what a great shot in the forest. Not the perfect freeze, but a great angle. If China happens to hit that one straight back, the red one stays in the rings. It could be a count, could count. That really increases the degree of difficulty right here. And China would probably like to hit that just absolutely on the nose to keep their yellow in front of the red. An inch or two off the nose, they might leave it and spin into the open. Liu Wei, the third for China, having to come up with a big shot here. The upturn throw. Curling is a team sport. The only team game at the Paralympics where both genders play on an equal playing field, and there must be at least one of each gender on the ice at all times. Well, a nice chip here. Almost a miss from Liu Wei. And he managed to get it over the top. I think he was playing it in the other direction, but that'll work. In Canada, once again, Ina Forrest playing exactly the same type of stone that she played on her first one. Just draw down to the back one. I love her motto, her philosophy in life is never let them see you stop smiling. Well, she does a lot of smiling. Very happy-go-lucky gal. Business owner in Vernon, British Columbia. Her 3 children and husband, Curtis, will be really looking for her to do well here. And they're used to her winning. She has an Olympic gold medal and 3 World Championships golds as well. So she has plenty of reason to smile when things come to curling.
Here, kid.
Needed a little bit more weight to get down to the back one. Didn't quite have the same speed for Ina that she had on her initial stone at this end. Well, a good hit and roll here right across and behind the corner guard could perhaps get China out of this end.
上线啊，
Need a
交
big
给你
shot. The skip from Harbin, China. A young 24-year-old skip. And of course, Harbin in that northeast upper part of China, largest city of the Heilongjiang province. And they do play out at Heilongjiang Curling Club. And we talk about the other teams from China and the able-bodied, Wang Yingzhu and Liu Mei. They train in Canada 8 months of the year. They don't get to see home very much. They're always playing in the big competitions in Canada. We'll look at this for a hit and roll. Almost, just a little bit less of that stone. He rolls right in behind that corner, buried. But will be available.
That should be lost.
Totally visible by a long way for Jim Armstrong. Nice shot by China. At least they'll test Canada here. Well, for Jim Armstrong, a really good possibility here. If he can strike about half of that stone, he can roll to his own. Might even make the double in the back. Well, that's not the big factor. It's the hit and roll here. He can roll to his own stone, kind of bump it a tiny little bit, keep both in behind that corner guard. Still a possible 3 here for Canada. A big stone here for Jim. Earlier in the competition, we talked about the stones. He said they just curl like crazy. Now it seems the ice has settled down, running a little straighter. The stone's not quite as aggressive. Canada's like the ice the last few rounds. Will he get the hit and roll? Nope, it'll be the opposite way for Jim. It's still a hit and stay.
Good shot, good shot.
Kind of looking at 2 counters of Canada, but a possible double now. That's the way Jim hit and stayed on that one. It might be the angle there.
Okay.
China having to be careful. They would not like to jam it way back on their own yellow. You need about half of this stone, and the double could be possible if they make the double. Line 2.
上线就行。
It's definitely a big shot for them on this last stone of the 4th end.
Draw.
Liu Wei holding the brush as target. And then we see that bottom of the stone, a little bit different granite. As I mentioned, the blue hone at the bottom and the insert. It's amazing to me how that insert stays inside the stone. There's 2 different granites put together. And this is the last stone. Long high tower. Stone, this 4th end, needs the double.
就挡那点儿
Going
也
big
行。
weight. Well, they have the, right on the beak, runs it past the back one. So China's 2nd or 3rd shot stone, but Canada, that beautiful tap-up was made by Dennis Thiessen. China not able to get it out of the area. It has survived the entire end. Now Canada draw possibility for 2 for Jim Armstrong. We'll just check his draw weight stats.
Okay, Jim, 2.
He's had 3 draws. Only 8% on his 3 draws. Wow, he's made 1 draw a little bit and missed the other 2. But good thing for him, he's had some practice.
Okay, Jimmy, big guy, do it.
Okay, Jim.
Okay, we got a draw.
Yeah.
Fortunately, this is a path we had on the 2nd.
Yeah.
And Jim will recall other stones that have been played in this area. Definitely get in his mind a good idea of the speed required. And good speed between the 2 hog lines on this ice is generally about 12.5 seconds. Not the fastest ice that we've seen. The real quick ice would be about 14.5 seconds of travel time. That means the stone really glides a long time. And in between that area. That stone 13.35 seconds. Just taking a bit too long to get through the zone means that it wasn't speedy enough through the zone. 13.35 was not enough to make the rings. We needed about a 12. That ice a little sticky in
We're
that
throwing
spot.
draws out there from here. I don't know.
On my 3-4.
Jim just a little bit mystified by that weight.
Pretty reliable.
I've been, let's flip them.
Jim, 4 draws, no success so far in this match. This is an opportunity there for an extra point, and that might come back to haunt Canada. And you miss those easy extra points. With the advantage of last stone. Come back to hurt a team. Well, China races off for the 4th end break. Halfway point in this game. Halfway point of regulation play, that is. Should the teams be tied after 8 ends of play, an extra end would be played. A chance here for both teams to get a little refreshment, perhaps an energy bar, a chance to talk to their coaches. The 5th player for Canada is Mark Idison, coach Joe Ray. Canada celebrating their 3-1 lead so far over China. We look at their percentages. Canada really playing great with the hits, and Ina Forrest leading the way at 91%. Jim Armstrong missed the 4 draws he's played so far. His hits have been perfect. And amazingly enough on the takeouts. Sonia leads 75%, and Dennis, Ina, and Jim all at 100%.
You just got to get out to the stick on the outs, right? Yeah, but they're not going. They're not dragging the same way.
Put it back then?
Yeah, it's a version.
Anton.
Canada with Coach Joe Ray. And look at China. Oh, big game so far from Wang Haitao, 81%. Above his tournament average. So China playing well, although it's been a very, very simple game. We haven't seen much in the way of a guard game, except for the last in the 4th end, where Canada forced the corner guard and got a tap in behind, but then missed the draw for 2 to let China off the hook. Coach for China, Liu Jianryu. See if he talks about the offense now needed to win this game.
你给他顺势好了，其实。
我觉得顺势电源大，完了
就不好给点是吧？我怕他再出手一个大，啥都没打着。张晴，如果体力上保证不了点位，一定高排高，让他给你放点。听懂没？我。
Look at the comparisons between the 2 teams. And takeouts, Canada playing amazing, 94%. That's really a great stat for them. They have the hitting accuracy. I'm pretty sure that the winner of this game will be the team that can figure out draw weight. And China now can force the draw game. They trail at 3-1. If they can force the draw game, Jim Armstrong not curling well on the draw. So this young team from China, the youngest male and female wheelchair curlers in the competition. And there's our scoreboard. Canada with a single on the first with their hammer. Stole 1 on the second. And missed the draw for 2 to get an extra point on the 3rd end. So after 3 full ends of play, Canada leads it by a score of 3-1. Here we are on sheet A at the Ice Cube Curling Center in Sochi, Russia, 2014. Beautiful Sochi with palm trees. The order of the day, warm weather. The northernmost tropical area in the world. We don't see any snow in this area. We see rain now and then. We're only half an hour away from the snowy area of the mountains where all the skiing competition takes place. And we're only a few hundred yards from the Black Sea here. It's the most compact Olympics and Paralympics in the history of the Olympic movement. It's only a few minutes walking distance or biking distance between the various venues of hockey, figure skating
Okay, Sonia.
in the Olympics. Now curling here. All of these venues very close together. So far, in age and treachery, and cunning and guile, the 50-year-old Canadian team outdoing the upstarts from China, the youngest team in the competition. So can the youth and exuberance of China come back in the second half of this game? A very low-scoring affair so far. We've only really had the one end, the last end, where some guards came in play.
Good shot.
Let's see if China changes their strategy now. They were hitting early on. Will they draw now? They could go out in front with guards. Or they just bide their time. They just hope the can eventually misses. Here again, China could go with the corner guard out in front into the protected free guard zone. It should be protected to the lead stones, or they could draw down with this shot. We saw Canada do that, drawing down the stones in the second half. China just playing it simple. Very surprising that they are not going after this more. There are 4 ends, so I guess patience can still pay off. Chip, not the hit. Just moving that one over. And that's showing the hits. China has missed more wide open takeouts. Look at the average for China on the hits from lead to skip. 50%, 67, 63, and 79.
What's the call?
Jim, what's the call?
Jim just having a Jim falling asleep down there, having a senior's moment.
I'm not sure.
That's Canada's stone.
Oh.
And Jim now realizes that it's their stone. I guess he was watching one of the other sheets, thought China had made the takeout, and so people, let's send in a wake-up call to Jim, says the team. Jim, Mars to Jim, Mars to Jim. Okay, now he's awake. And I think he was very interested in watching the other sheet in play. So an exciting shot there as well. Perhaps this game not quite exciting enough for Jim right now. He got caught watching the other game and didn't even notice that China had missed a takeout over there. He called for the takeout on his own shot. Canada's shot stolen. Of course, the other 3 players at the far end of the Jim, what's going on down there? A fun moment.
I think he lost focus there for a minute. What color? That's what happened there.
Either that or Jim's colorblind. Could there be that possibility too? Canada qualified into the Paralympics in the wheelchair curling. They were first. If you take the points gained from the World Championships in 2011 and 2012 and 2013, Canada had 12, 4, and 12 with 28 Paralympic points. So they qualified first of all. And actually, the second place was host Russia, who was also in the semifinals. Nice double there by China. Russia qualified in second place with 25 points, and China was third with 22. So this young Chinese team has played well at the last 3 World Championships. So certainly improving in a hurry. And that stick goes back as a quiver. It's almost like an arrow to be drawn for the bow. In this game, very simple. I can see why Jim perhaps decided to have a little snooze down there for a second. Not a lot of rocks so far. For him, it hasn't been a lot of strategy to pick up. Placing the brush. Placing 88%. 100% on his hits so far. He will hit and stay again. And Canada just led her perfectly in their hitting today. Wow, they are having a great hitting match. Decent here. Started playing in 2005 at the Assiniboia Curling Club in Winnipeg. Of course, there's so many good curling clubs right in Winnipeg. There are about 25 clubs within the city, or just a 10-mile radius right around the city. Winnipeg is a hotbed of curling in Canada. You go almost anywhere and people know curling, they talk about curling, they know the players. quite so in China. The sport is just catching on in that area.
8秒5。
多少
？8秒5，8秒5。
Curling has really been, over the last few Olympics and Paralympics, getting well known across the world. A lot of it on television now. A lot of writing and sports writers following the. And there are 547 athletes in total at these Paralympics in all of the sports. And 600 media here. Decent with left-hand throw. 2 left-handers on this team. Decent at second and Ron Forrest at third. And of course, China with a left-handed player too, the skipper, Wang Haitao. Straw over the side of the 8-foot circle.
Oops. Try that again.
There's not much happening so far in this game. It's like a junior curling game where I shouldn't put the juniors down, but a lot of times the juniors go into hit mode. And it's just hit, hit, hit. Not much around. I expected a lot more offense, and Canada loves to play the offense, but they're leading at 3-1, and they're saying, well, if China never wants to go after us, I guess we'll just keep it simple. That's what China's doing too. And China, with their simple game, they're just hoping that Canada will give them an easy miss. And they're certainly not increasing the degree of difficulty in any way, shape, or form. But Canada, once again, has just a wide open shot. And so far, Canada playing 100%, and they're hitting at the second, third, and skip position, so they aren't missing a thing. China will have to make a move pretty quick. There's only 3 ends left after this end in regulation play. Ina Forrest, also one of the 100% hitters, playing 5 takeouts so far and made them all. Playing at 91% so far, the highest of any player in this game. And as mentioned, she led the thirds at 60% during the round robin. And that may not sound real high, but there's a lot of struggling going on early on in the competition, so the percentages weren't built up very high from the start with the excessive curl that there was in the ice. And with that excessive curl, it was difficult to find draw weight too. A lot of the stones were stopping short. This ice definitely a little stickier and slower than it was during the World Championships here a year ago when Canada won gold. The low man gets that hit down low. A little like Kevin Cooey, regular able-bodied player from Canada who slides as low as anybody can slide, or Ryan Fry from Winnipeg gets real low as well. And chips that stone out, nothing in play. And who would have guessed it, a wide open house again.
So we need to go away on the left side.
12.5.
Center line, okay.
Much ado about nothing right now, as both teams just biding their time, and Canada saying, well, if China won't come after us, maybe we'll just help them to waste a bunch of ends, and all of a sudden the game will be over, and we'll win 3-1. Canada unwilling to put the pedal to the metal here and go after it because they lead it by a score of 3-1. They're waiting for China to make a move. Why gamble if you don't have to is Jim Armstrong's philosophy right now. Ina Forrest, the 51-year-old.
Great shot, Ina.
The Vernon Club.
Go, 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 go.
English history major. She went to Simon Fraser University in Burnaby. Well, there's a stone short of the range.
That works.
Canada didn't really want that. China will definitely go behind that now. China waiting for that mistake, and perhaps that's the one for Ina. The play is in the center. That's the best area for Canada to steal as well. But it'll be China with the first opportunity to get in behind that stone. If China can make a good shot under cover here, they could once again test out that draw weight. Jim Armstrong's, and Jim in his 4 stones hasn't made a draw so far. It's been close, but no cigar. Liu Wei. Team's first Paralympics. 4 World Championships before getting bronze and 2012 and 2013 here. Will that one bury in behind? Partially in behind, a very nice stone. Needed a little bit more curl to get fully buried in behind, and then Armstrong would have had really no choice but to draw. You can see probably 7/8 of it. Just placing the brush.
Shouldn't have to break it.
Out there.
Yeah. You spun it a bit wide, eh?
Jim just mentioning that Lu Wei spun the stone a little bit, and that would make it curl less. A little bit less handle, curls more.
Hey, Jimmy.
Jim,
all over it.
Absolute great ice reader. All those years of experience. Maybe his out-turn chase on this shot. Barely maybe see all. Just hack weight from him, just enough to barely break a pane of glass. Jim 100% on his takeout so far on his 4 hits. Will this one get by? Nope, there it goes, on the guard, and Canada with 2 mistakes. First of all, placing the guard in front for China to draw around. They didn't want that shot out in front, and then Jim a little inside on the out-turn throw. And they mentioned during the 4th in break, they said to Jim, make sure you're out to that out-turn. They've just noticed him getting that in-turn inside a little bit on the release with the delivery stick. And with Jim all over the guard. And China with a chance here, not a lie too, and perhaps tie up this match. So all the time I've spent here criticizing China, now they have a chance for 2. Just the patience paid off, and Canada finally made a mistake by throwing the guard out front with a light takeout. And the quiver will come out for the bow, and Robin Hood will go to work. Left-handed Robin Hood, that is. And the best game for Team China so far, at 81%. 100% on his draws. He made 1 draw. In the center, he might be in an area where he might set up a double, but a split here would work well. That's a very nice split. China line 2. We'll see if Armstrong can come up with a double to get out of this possible 2-ender. No double.
I like the other one better.
And Jim looking at both, he says, now maybe the double.
We can have a go with this.
The thing about the double is it needs a lot of weight to get the double. Not even taking ice for the double. This is a lot of ice. This is on his in turn. This is enough for only about hack weight. If he could throw Jim at
we've thrown a few hits down here.
Jim during his days was never a player, even though he's big and strong, that threw real hard. Now he can't throw as hard as he used to even. So this type of double is very difficult for him. He would need big takeout weight at least, or full takeout weight to get that double. This is tricky though. He cannot afford to rub the guard. Jim Armstrong is the last stone of the 5th end. His team leads it by a score of 3-1. He needs a good shot here to stay ahead in the game. And not much of a handle. Very little spin on that stone. No handle going in, but he gets the stone and gets a good roll too. We'll see a little more weight. That was the perfect angle for the double. It's still a good shot from Jim, and Jim Bowe comes through with the goods there, and wow, that stone had no handle halfway down the ring towards the rings. You might ask, well, why do you throw an in-turner and out-turner? And the thing is, in curling, if you tried to throw just straight with no handle, about halfway down the ice, the stone will usually decide to go a little bit one way or the other and pick a handle of its own. It could be off in the wrong direction for you totally. The players want a predetermined direction of curl. There we see the stone flipped over in that blue Trevor on the bottom. We're playing on sheet A. The yellows for China. It'll be a hit and stay, the last stone of N5. Team China a chance to tie up this match. Very good play for their skip in this game. players all yelling at that stone. Nip the red out and roll onto his own, remove it. So China, missing the chance for two, will only get the single.
往上顶一点啊！
力量都行。
9.14，你应该再，要不你再提点力量一下。
Nobody too pleased with that shot on the China side. It was their opportunity to tie up the game.
All right, let's go, guys.
Canada, dodge a bullet. Only give away the one.
感觉一推一加，啪，好像带一点。
After 5 full ends of play in the semifinal. Paralympic wheelchair curling. It's Canada leading with by a score of 3-2, and last opportunity for China to tie up the match. And there's the reserves for Canada. All the fans in their beautiful garb cheering on. Canada's side looking for the three-peat. Can Canada make it into their 3rd Paralympic final in a row? Can they win gold again as they did in 06 and 2010? Only time will tell during this day. We'll see if China goes out in front in this end and forces the action. So far, everything by them has always been into the rings. The lead player, Zhu Wanqing, 23-year-old from Harbin, China. Slides that one through the rings, and they didn't even want to play a guard up front. They're still sticking with the draw. And we haven't seen more than, let's say, one guard out in front in any end. There was a guard in the 4th end, a corner guard, which Canada used to tap in and get buried. And there was that center guard by Canada last end, which China went around. Those are the only 2 real action areas that we've seen in this game so far. So very little to write home about. The Brain will deliver now. Nickname, the teacher from Okanagan College, with her hand on the balance post. She was inducted into the Curling Hall of Fame in Canada last year in 2013, and she was surprised. Another surprise for her was a wonderful opportunity. She was the flag bearer over a week ago in the opening ceremonies here in Sochi. We talked about what an honor and thrill that was to carry the flag for Canada. Looking at the time codes, China with 33, Canada with 30 minutes left in their time. Lots and lots of time. This has been a game where there's been little strategy discussions, not much with the few rocks in play. Both teams playing at a quick pace, and both teams with tons of time banked on their clocks. And China just unwilling to go after it, always playing into the rings, not going after the guard game at all. And this stone way deep in the rings, I would think Canada might even just draw to that. They won't even hit it. Way down, there goes Jim, just signaling, just weld one on that.
He did 12, 12 down there 2 ends ago. Yeah.
And Shu not too happy with the weight she had on that.
Wow,
Canada here going to use that stone from China against China and just draw down right in front of it. If they can get the welding torch out and paste one right on top of it, it'll make it very difficult for China. Sonia, 47-year-old from Vernon. And listen to that resume. Paralympic gold in 06 and 10 and 3 world championships in 09, 11, and 13. And according to that, 9, 11, 13, she should definitely win the world championship in 50. And the next Paralympics are scheduled in 2018 for Korea. Teams will look to go there. Quite a bit of weight as Sonia just slides by that stone. It was not a takeout attempt. A little bit less weight for the draw. The stone would have finished up with curl at the end. And Sonia displeased with that stone. And the gal who loves kayaking, and fishing, and cross-country skiing, a little bit too much speed on that. And she trains 8 months a year, so very, very excellent shape. Chung with the outturn draw. Well, this one definitely in front of the ring. China with the counter in the ring, so Canada with two opportunities. They could once again draw down that back stone, as Jim indicates, or they could come around that corner guard. Both are very, very good offensive shots. And Jim will stay with the same shot that Sonia just missed, and he'll have Dennis Thiessen, the second for Team Canada, give it a shot. And Dennis in his first Paralympics has played in one Worlds when gold was won here last year in Sochi. And Dennis, his hero was Canadian curler Jennifer Jones. Jennifer, and her Canadian team won gold in the able-bodied curling here a couple weeks ago in the Olympics. As did Canada's Brad Jacobs, so Canada made a clean sweep of the gold medals on the curling side in the Olympics. And Canada looking to win here as well. Sonia was a little heavy. Thiessen a little bit light on the weight.
Okay.
Guarding that stone along with China. So China now being pretty much forced to go to the offense. They have guards to work with. Two guards they can work with. Either one would be good to draw behind. So although they didn't really play for it very much so far in the game, now they have offense. And I would say definitely their last lead stone was an attempt to be in front of the rings, and that worked out. Now they're looking to get around. Good path. Good stopping time. Lots of glide and slide. Slide and moving away right to the back into the 12-foot around the 5 o'clock position if you're looking at a clock overhead. Canada not too aggravated about either of those yellow stones. And both of them kind of favor Canada, although they're counters. Should Canada get around a corner guard and trying to make a tap back or a removal that might be staying on that back one. So those stones right there of China's right now not doing them a whole lot of good unless Canada here just totally implodes and doesn't make anything. But Canada with a good shot here can really force it. Dennis Thiessen, the guy who loved woodworking, and his motto, live, dream, and enjoy.
Attaboy.
Nice speed here.
Yeah.
Draw down in front of that back stone. There he goes, using that stone. China's against them. China has a very difficult time removing that red one. They'll probably have to draw.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. What was the weight?
11-7.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. But
And it just got there like just.
And as China said, they said, yes, we are the youngest team. We're not sure if that's an advantage or a disadvantage. We have less experience. But he says, still, we have a lot of ambition. And of course, this game today is all about, Ken, the youth and exuberance of young China, averaging 28 years old. Can they overcome the experience of Canada, an older team, averaging 50 years of age? Liu Wei yelling at that stone. Will it respond? The whole team yelling at it. The little chip. Oh, a great shot. Whoa. Wow. From the ice city to the ice cube to cheer on their team. And oh, that was a tough shot. And it just barely nips out the Canada stone. A great result for Wei. Canada will have to duplicate that stone that they just played and see if China can come up with the goods again. Ina Forrest, her hero is Steve Nash, NBA basketball player who's now with LA.
12.
Ina, her philosophy, never let them see you stop smiling, and she lives by that. That stone pretty much fully buried. China will need a good path. And Xu holding the chair, encouraging her teammate. Says, go, go, go. Let's make this shot. Liu Wei. The turn must get by the guard. This number 6 stone curling like crazy. Will it get by? No chips, but where does it go? Not going behind the guard for shot stone. Will it spin in behind? Yes, it does. Oh, Jim Armstrong goes. Give me a break. Oh, my goodness. A nice break for China as they rub the guard. New way, yelling at that stone to spin in, and it does. It shot stone, and it's behind that corner guard. China might be able to get to it on the end turn. They can see about half of it on the in-turn side. Jim Armstrong asking for the out-turn draw instead. Bad break for Canada, as China missed, but didn't miss. Made what is called in curling terms a fluke. Good break off a miss. That's this game of curling. So much strategy involved in it. You get more rocks in play. Sometimes crazy things can happen. Check the weight here, the speed for Ina Forrest. Will she have enough to motor in for shot stone? Just enough for the corner freeze, but that is a good shot. But still, China ran a shot stone. And just needed a couple more feet on that to draw that in behind. I know what she wouldn't have given for some sweepers right at the end to take that a couple feet further. And follow down the skip. And the sheet of ice. Along high power. Longest skip. 24 years old. Only lefty skip. Team throws that about Bai Longjing, wheelchair curling club. Harbin. And they know each other so well. They began as pretty much as a team in 07. They're all selected from other sports in their first Paralympics, and they played in 4 worlds, winning 2 bronzes. Bronze medal points. Wide open hit on the Canadian stone. But that guard is gone. Nice spin here on the out turn. Excellent hit from China. They lie too. And the pressure goes over to Armstrong. Jim is looking at it. Is there any way to get to? And he says, let's find it. He means let's find draw weight. Jim dismal on his draws in this game so far. Played 4 draws, hasn't made any. He made a partial draw. I guess they give him a percentage, but he's been way better on his takeout so far. And the big man, Jimbo, looking for a good draw weight. He said it himself. Let's find it. Draw weight must be somewhere, and right now it's not right in his hip pocket, though. That's where a player likes to have it. When you're making every draw, you walk around the rink and you say, yeah, I have my draw weight right here. It's in my hip pocket. I can make anything.
Give this one a little.
Ina Forrest holding the brush for Jim. The former dentist who said wheelchair curling has been a second life for him. Loves the sport. Playing the freeze on the end turn. Over curls a bit right at the end. Only enough to be 3rd shot stone. Let's see what China will apply here. They don't really need a takeout here. They can go on the offense. It's only 3rd shot stone. A hit here would not be the right shot. Well, China's just in hitting mode.
Left alone.
That shot, that stone really not a factor back there. They have 1st and 2nd shot stone. They could put a stone about top 4 foot now or top 8 foot right in that area. Really put the pressure on. They position the stone where they really shrink down the scoring area for Canada. And maybe they heard my mic. Okay. This is their chance now. They trail it by 1. Canada has the hammer. This is their chance now to really perhaps steal some points. Good shot here. I was surprised by the end turn as well. There's lots of room on the other side, and that's really the side that Canada will be playing.
那个点能投到中线来，你再缩一点，就是能投进去就行，让他找双飞吧，让他打双飞。
China talking about the turn to play and the positioning of the stone from the skip. Long high power. Looks like his out turn.
上线啊 ，OK， 力量。
Whoa.
我力量，我掉，
再
Playing the out turn draw. I like this one just into the top ring. Sliding much too deep. Tap his own stone out and get just one stone closer to the 4 foot, so a little bit more chance to count. But would have liked that one about 6 or 8 feet further, guarding his stone. That would have been perfect.
一下就没了。
12.08。
For Canada, Jim giving it a sigh of relief.
咱2个进，他打定1分呗。
That guard would have made it very, very difficult for him. Now he has a wide open shot, but still not easy. China's line 2.
你还没打夹呢。你还没打
Perfect
夹。
guard there would have made it very difficult for Jim to get a stone. It would have really shrunk down the area to come through.
Hey, Jim.
For shot stone.
Hey, Jimmy.
Sonia and Dennis encouraging Jim on the stone. The team that is trying to do a three-peat for Canada. And then gold for 3 Paralympics in a row. 2 games away. A semi-final and then a final. The last stone of N6. The blue stick, Jim Armstrong, captain of Team Canada. He's checking the line. He looks intently. Stone is curling hard. Hit. Yes, it does spin too far. There we have it. China stealing 1, having the best yellow counter. Although Canada had 3 reds in the rings, none of them were beating the yellow stone. So China with a steal of 1 here in the 6th end of play. And tightening it up to a tie match.
It's there.
Wow, it's close now.
Beamed it a bit.
Either team could win it.
So let's find our deuce here. Or nothing.
And they're just talking over their strategy. Fans from Canada hanging on. Also the fans from Russia. They have been wonderful fans. 3,000 seats in the Ice Cube Arena watching this match 3-all. The other semi-final on as well between Russia and Great Britain. Russia finished first with a record of 8-1 in the round robin. Canada at 7-2. Could have finished first, but got blown out of the water. Score of 12-1 against Finland, who had only won 1 match in that last round robin session. And China defeated Great Britain in their final round robin match. Both teams finished at 5-4, but China, having won that game, head-to-head, boosted into 3rd place. Canada at 2nd, China at 3rd play, and Russia 1st place 4th place, and that's Great Britain. And China right through the rings, and that has been a number of misses. From Zhu at lead, where she has just been too speedy on that draw shot, and this is really an end where China needs stones in play. They have to force a count. They do not want Canada blanking this end. Sonia Goody, flag bearer for Canada, just over a week ago. At the wonderful opening ceremonies in Fish Stadium, which is 50,000 people. Wonderful, about 50-foot high flame just yards away. And we'll let this stone right into the ring. But a short guard, not bad for them. If Canada 2 possibilities here. Canada can go for the blank here, which would be hit. On the other hand, Armstrong really not a great blanker of ends on last stones. Sonia with the better accuracy today. And Shu has missed a lot of draws. So has not had great accuracy today. 32% on the draws. Accuracy on hits, 58%. That's Stone in the free guard zone, so China cannot totally remove from play. So after the fourth stone, so China playing the draw. The other side of the ring. And this one with lots of speed too. Her MO this game has been back ring or through. That Stone once again back ring. We'll see if Canada will draw to it. Yes, right there. Armstrong immediately asked for the freeze. Shu going, oh, I'm deep with my draw again. Can't believe it. She must have had too much breakfast on this day.
Well,
It's cranked up those draws with too much speed. Well, this is the time when that great experience from Canada might come into play. Her age, older age that is, and guile and cunning, might have a chance to come through. Armstrong himself has not had the best game by a long way. He does have the experience of how to skip these kinds of ends, these crucial ends, like ends 7 and 8. The freeze attempt from Sonia. She said earlier in the week, she said, we're just struggling with the ice. We're just figuring out the ice and draw weight. Now they have really seemed to settle in, Canada, and in a number of their games they've played really well in the draw. And Sonia's hero was Canadian wheelchair racer Rick Hansen, world famous for the money he's raised. Chung Xiang, second player, was playing third earlier in the week. Now playing second as he and Lu Wei have changed positions. A lot of teams did that. Nice hit and stay, drives that past his own. As a second man for the team from Harbin, China. Makes a really good shot. And amazingly, Harbin, China, in the late 1920s, was China's fashion capital. The reason being that a lot of the fashion from Paris and that area got there first before it did to other cities in China because of the northeast location. Beeson playing the hit. 100% on his takeout so far. Hit and stay it once again, although he would have liked to have rolled right in front of the Yellowstone. But Beeson clicked at 100% on his 6 takeouts. Having a very good match.
What was the weight on that?
And overall, 85%. It was. Big game from him today.
It just really broke.
Yeah, it really did.
Shung, a 34-year-old, the old man of this team. The team averages 28 years of age. Loves playing guitar. Has an ambition to medal here. Just having trouble with the grasping handle, getting a good grip. It's on its way. It's a study and concentration. And a great hit on his first one. And this one, oh, it lost its handle. It picked something up right in the top ring. It picked up some debris. And Armstrong just moving out. You can actually see the line in the ice. It's a tiny little line in the ice, which there's a mark.
Yeah.
You can see a tiny little line which Armstrong is trying to clean up now. That stone picked up probably something like a little piece of gravel. It made a mark right in the ice.
Over here.
The officials looking for that piece of debris as well as they just clean the ice along that mark. There's the scratch right there. So that picked up something quite major. a little bit of plastic or something like that. Tiny little bit of something in there that you could take the stone, just measured with the feet.
You can't do that in the game.
Hello?
Well, I'm sure he knows.
And this stone, the scratch you can see there, right there, oh, it's digging into the ice, so something's right underneath the surface of that stone, right underneath the running cup. It goes back the other way with an S. Wow, that was unusual the way that came back. And actually, the official turning that stone over and cleaning the bottom, but it isn't really allowed. That's not done. Although cleaning the ice is no problem. You're not supposed to touch the stone because once the debris is under that stone, that's part of the action of the game. But these young officials, people helping out here at the Paralympics at the Ice Cube have been just fantastic. Volunteers, beautiful jackets they wear. It's the most colorful I've ever seen. And here in Sochi, Russia, and all of the venues close to the Black Sea, the roofing on the venues is just amazing. LED lighting on many of the roofs, and all sorts of lighting shows go on in the evening. Beautiful. The tap over here. And Station just moved that back. Very good shot. Although there might be a double for China if they can smack that right on the beak. Nice weight by Dennis. He tapped that about a foot or two further than he wanted. But the people at Assiniboia Curling Club will be liking it as Dennis is having a big match. 85% today. And double or nothing here for China. Bit of risk here. If they just whisker that past their own, they could leave the red on their own back yellow. And Lu Wei very low on that stick. The delivery stick. Pushes forward. See if he's happy with that throw. He's a very animated player. Looking for the double. Only moves the one out. Just a bit outside the brush. So let's see. Yellow is shot stone on the left-hand side. At the 7 o'clock position. Canada's second shot stone. The stone just grazing by the guard. Moving both reds, but not getting the second one out of play. Needed it right on the beak to get the true double. Ina Forrest, 81% in this game. Coming up with a huge match. And the gal who has been top amongst all thirds. Playing well again. Well, because China shot stone here, Canada can just draw down in front and use it as backing, but they'd probably like to tap it just a little bit. Or are they playing the hit? Let's see. They could be playing the takeout. Looks like the takeout. Yes, the out turn. Left-hander. Ina. Clockwise rotation. It's the hit and stay. And that's tough in the back ring. The hit. Will it stay in play? Will it hang? Will it hang? It's like it is a little nibbler in the back. Good enough for third shot stone. So the plot of the end takes place in the back ring. It might be out, that stone. It might be out there. The official could actually do a measure to see if that stone is actually in play. Or if it's out past the rings on the back, it could be taken out if it's not touching the back line. It looks like both skips have left that stone in play for now. Although I don't think it's biting the rings. So it could be touching the back line, but not the rings. Lu Wei. His chin right above the delivery stick. Watching intently. He wants the hit and stay. And gets rid of all those three stones. And rolls partially. I don't think that one is buried at all, but in the direction of the center guard. He made a lot of decisions. Oh, that is partially. Probably
压一个白的。
hundredth of it buried or so in behind the guard.
So 12, 11 and a half.
Canada will play the draw to it. Armstrong staying on the offense. He loves that freeze game.
Solid 12.
Ina Forrest goes through her routine. She always sizes up the shot and then walks in her chair. Dennis will provide support from behind and holding that chair so it doesn't wobble. She'll play for herself. In turn, the freeze shot. It's a little bit more than T weight to draw right down to the back one.
Weight looks good, Ina.
Come on. Oh, come on.
Waiting for that one to curl is Armstrong yelling at it. He says, yes, please curl.
Shot, Ina.
Good shot,
Oh,
Ina.
that is a great shot. Wow, that is nice. Makes it difficult for China. They could possibly jam that one and stick it right on their own back shot. Ina with a great game. 79% in this game.
Great side, everything.
What's that?
That's a really good shot.
That thing
啊，
picked up a
力
piece
量
of
啊
aluminum.
提力量要。
我觉得那点小，再放一点儿也行。
我觉得也那个。
China a little worried because their stone is in behind that one.
双飞出的。
Well, with about a half a contact with that stone, they could move it past their own. Line two. First things first, they do
到
need
那边甩
contact.，
我要找双飞，
那不是容易
甩个钥匙。
吗？
相关双飞
18
俩都
inches
不
of
要
ice.
了。大
要是
边
看我那边再给点点太小，容易刮前面，
对对对，
更不好。
对对对，打厚一点，大不了俩不要了。
OK。
上线啊！
And in curling,
别想
the
效果，
quiver
就
comes
想
from the
上
bow.
线啊！
Gets ready to throw this stone. There we have a really good look at that insert granite, the blue hole on the bottom. Players were first mic'd in curling in 1986 on television. At that point in time, it was, the producers would always ask a player whether or not they would wear a mic or not. Now it's pretty much standard. The players love wearing a mic. They can talk about their own game. Fans can listen into them. A lot of weight outside the broom. And see how that back stone of China's works against them. He was so afraid of jamming that stone.
瞄住线上
Wong
线，
high toe that he
别想那么
overthrew.
多，你上线就完了呗。那上线
Canada using China's stone
I'm for
against them.
lobbing
there.
another one down here.
没关系。
Okay, let's make sure there's nothing it can pick on, okay?
China with an overthrow and had about 16 inches icing with that big weight through that right through the curl. Let's see what Armstrong's up to here. He's had 5 draw shots and no success. Score tied 3-3 with 2 stones left in the 7th end. This would be a good time for Armstrong to find draw weight.
Pardon me?
Going down to that one?
Yeah, well, not down to it, but just that side.
Okay, Jim, it's all yours.
Hey, Jim, all over it.
Get down to it.
Guy.
Let's go. It's all yours.
Jim, they say, pull that draw weight out of a magic hat here. Make this one good. Jimbo, curling since the age of 8. Has played in 6 Canadian Briars, the biggest events in Canada. To go to a World Championship. Began curling in Victoria, BC. At that tender age, the 63-year-old with lots of weight on this stone. The chip. Well, there might be a double there for China. Just a bit too much speed for Jim, who has really struggled with that draw weight, but finally making a draw in this game. At least it's in the rings, he said. Well, China would have to hit that stone in behind the guard first to make the double. The angle's wrong the other way. So do they want to gamble for the double? How serious are they about this double?
我这好像有双
这
飞
应该
架。
有双飞
The
吧？
shot to
这
play.
双飞甲出不来。
打薄的应该差不多。
And the first thing to look at is there a hole between those 2 stones. If you gamble and zip right through the middle, do you get anything? Well, I know, yeah, there's definitely a big enough hole to go right through with the shooter and get nothing except the back yellow. You'd have have to chip that stone on the left, about an eighth of it. And run the shoe over to make the double on the roll. And Wang Hai-to. 12 inches of ice here, and his last stone didn't curl at all for him. You need big weight to make this double, so it might be a little bit too much ice that he's taking. Armstrong looks on. Hai-to curling him today. Jim, the strategist. That always has to be worth some points. A really good strategy. Last stone for China. The 7th inch taking lots of ice. See how the line is on this stone. Will it curl? He gets by. Oh, actually curled a bit too much. Hit and stay, but not be shot stone. Runs it out past his own. Rolls it off. Good hit there. By Wang. For Canada, it will be a draw attempt for 2. Armstrong just thinking, is there any way that I can make this shot for sure? Not really much to come to. Has to go kind of cold. He just threw a draw on his last one. So knows the weight. Jim, who was inducted into the Curling Hall of Fame in Canada in 1990.
All right, Jimmy. In the rings.
And who knows if he'll be around for another wheelchair curling event. Paralympics 4 years from now in Korea. A 63-year-old. The out-turn draw for 2. Looks like lots of zip on that stone. Put some mustard on it. Stop in time. Looking pretty good. 12 seconds between the hog lines.
Oh, yeah.
Just taps it back. Perfect shot by Jim. A beautiful shot by Jim Armstrong. The fans love that. Canadian fans whooping it up in the stands. And their man, Jim Armstrong, comes through with a beautiful shot. Draw tap back for 2. Canada jumps into a 5-3 lead after 7 ends of play. I'm saying, great shot, Jim. And there's the 3 players right there together, Goody and Ina and Jim Armstrong. They won gold together in 2010 in Vancouver in the Paralympic wheelchair curling. And now Thiessen is part of the team. That gamble, going for 2, played off for Canada. As Armstrong kept the corner guard going through that end of that end and kept China chasing and chasing and chasing. And China made a mistake and Canada got it for 2. And you see the 2 flags right beside each other, China and Canada, to the left. They're hanging the boards. A lot of Canadian flags up high in the stands, and many of them there.
He just told me to wind again.
And Dennis kind of a look-alike. Looks a lot to me like Gary Vandenberg, who used to curl for the Stoughton team out of Winnipeg, or that same area, that Winnipeg area club.
Okay.
Sonia, we'll see where Canada plays this. It looks like they could throw through because they are up by 2. Looks like they'll try to position the rock, first of all, around the top 4-foot area. The reason being is that if China plays a corner guard, and the 3 guards zone to get some action going, and Canada would have a stone nicely in the 4-foot, which they could then guard. And make it tough on China to score. The balance post. And the only woman in history, well, the only person in history, 2 gold Paralympic medals. Of course, there's only been 2. That was in Torino and Vancouver. And the stone must get over the hog line to remain in play. It is over, nicely over. Not sure if Canada played that out in front, or I'm pretty sure they wanted it in the rings with a 2-point lead. Did China a bit of a favor on that. Sonia not too thrilled with the weight she had on that stone.
Tentative on that frickin' 3 rock.
Just too tentative, she said. She looks at this guy. Oh, curlers, you know, they always have their way. They only let you throw the curling stone once, unfortunately. If you miss it, well, you don't get to re-throw it. And then we see that the two blue lines away from the center line, they're 18 inches away from the center line, and the stone must be delivered within that area in between the blue lines, which means the player can't go all the way off to the side of the sheet to improve the angle of throw. The stones must be thrown from the center area.
力量太大了。
Another stone looks like it's going right through. Yes, just zipping through the rings. For Zhu. Oh, she's had a lot of those in this game. Just pumped up and can't get the right draw weight. One of those days for her. She feels the ice is a little bit stickier than it is, and she's just overthrowing. Canada can peel their own stone. Even though it isn't a free guard zone, they couldn't peel a China stone until the seconds are thrown, but they can peel their own. And Jim instead saying, nope, let's play a draw in behind. Let's get it to be the first one in behind the guard. The balance post. Sonia Goody, the 47-year-old, married with 2 kids. For her, giving up, not an option, she says. The only person to win 2 Paralympic gold medals, Torino and Vancouver. That's a pretty good line. The ice getting just a little bit sticky right in that center line area now.
Yeah.
As I mentioned before, curling stones do not like a totally flat surface. They want some pebble to, of course, in Mado's house, good sliding that pebble. And if pebble begins to flatten out right in that middle area, the stones can stop quicker.
They've been sliding. Damn it. Should have just hit that one.
And Sonia not too happy with her 2 stones. But on the other hand, these are center guards, so it favors Canada in the fact that it really shrinks down the scoring area. If Canada can get in behind the center guards too, makes it difficult for China to get to. This could be a good stone if it gets into the range. Oh yes, going around nicely. And wow, finally, lead for China. Zhu Yangping makes a beautiful shot. She was born in Heilongjiang province. King plays out of Harbin. A big stronghold of curling in China. Harbin also in the Olympics. Wang Bingyu, the skipper of the women's team, Liu Wei, they play at that area as well. Although on those 2 teams training in Canada about 8 months of the year. For years they were training out of the Duke Curling Club by Edmonton, Alberta. Changed and did some training out of Manitoba. But the teams from China on the regular able-bodied side playing many events in Canada, all the big tournaments, playing the best competition in the world for cash on the World Curling Tour. Dennis a little bit slow on that shot. Not quite enough weight. It's starting to slow down right in the center area. And the fans really getting noisy now here inside of the Ice Cube in Sochi, Russia, as we are into end 8. And the lead's at 5-3, but China has shot stone totally buried in behind the center guards. And they put another stone in behind. Who knows, a 3-ender might be in the making here for them. You need 2 to tie, 3 to win. Shun Xiang. Nice path by the looks of it on that in turn. Will he sneak by? Just rubs the top one. Not all bad though. It's a stone which China might be able to tap in with a raise. But for Canada, that stone for China is really sitting in a good spot. And all the yelling from China, the begging, the pleading, could not get that stone to speed up and go by. And sometimes the stones listen, sometimes they don't. That center pass area now is definitely slowing down. The players have to add just an ounce or two of more speed to this stone. And this ice for the entire game has been at a speed of about 12 seconds from first hog to second hog in the travel time. That stone taking 15.28 seconds through that travel area, so way too slow in speed. I'm pretty sure the throwers need no more than timing than 12. The theory is the harder it's thrown, the faster it goes through the zone, the fewer seconds it takes on the stopwatch to go through that area. 15 seconds means it was a very slow gliding stone. Took a long time to get through the zone and hence stopped just past the hog line. Well, really a chance here now for China to bury one in behind, really get behind cover. It is getting slow in this area. Lots of push there. All of these players use stopwatches. They're always timing the ice to see what the other team's throw is like. The stones are way out by the board. That's 12.47 seconds and way too slow too. So I would say about 11 is the measure of time that a player needs out there. And able to find the rings in the last couple shots. The players are talking 11 and a half in between the two hog lines for timing. There is a hole there, a port to come through if Ina can find the perfect draw weight. The gal born in Fort St. John in northern BC now lives in Vernon. Gold in the Olympics, 3 gold in the World Championships. Business owner. Number 3 plays the out turn for that hole. Will she sneak by? Oh yes, she does. Now how about the speed? Or will it stop? Will it skate far enough? Skate, 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 says her team. That stops from the top 12 foot. Not a bad shot. It does block that side for China. And also gives Canada a chance to perhaps tap that up on their next stone.
Good shot.
What will China do now? China intently looks on. China could play the raise back on the yellow. The extra long stick used by the third man in this game by Skip. Liu Wei. As China talks it over, what shot to play? They trail it by 2, 5-3 in this 8th end of play. But they have a setup here. And this is the most guards we've seen in this game by millions. This has been a very, very tidy game. Very few guards in play, never more than 1 or 2 guards. But here in this end, both teams starting with guards and then coming up short in the draws. So a lot of granite in play. Makes for a very interesting one. The number 5 stone on sheet A. Team China. The run back almost makes it perfect. China. Oh, it's a great chance for them. Now. That changes things around with no guard in that spot. It's only had to curl up another inch. That would have been the perfect shot for Liu Wei. Liu Wei yelling all he can for the stone to curl. Very animated player. Fun to watch.
13, 12 and a half. Yeah,
Looks like Canada will just guard the hole.
Oh, I think you need a 12 and a half there.
Zone 2?
It's really tightening up.
Okay, so solid 12 and a half.
Thiessen stating the ice is tightening up and getting slower in that flatter area. And Canada just wanting to guard the hole, keep China out of the rings. It's good, Ina. Ina with the throw, looking for the right amount of curl. Stone 14.4 seconds. Continue to curl. That just might leave a hit opportunity for China for a hit and roll. Right, hit that and rolling behind. And that stone for China just kept curling and curling at the end. Perfect guard weight. This is a huge shot for China. This shot is really worth an extra 2 points to them. If they make this hit and roll, sheet A in the semi-final to go to the gold medal game. The hit and roll here is golden. Nothing Armstrong would be able to do about it. Too many guards in play. Good look at the insert. Blue hone into gray-green Trevor. The granite stone weighing 42 pounds, but slides very easily along the ice. Most days, that is. And this is the big shot here of the 8th end. Could be a game changer. A hit and roll. Lou Ray, as he chases that stone down the ice, sneaks by, makes the hit, and he'll stay. Doesn't get the entire roll, but a hit and stay. A couple inches less that stone, and he rolls right in behind for cover. Still a good shot. Had the perfect weight. Just an inch less, he spins right in behind the guard in front of his own, totally buried. Most animated player. Team China, the People's Republic of China, a force to be reckoned with, only taking up wheelchair curling since 2007. Such good players.
Hold them to 2.
Armstrong now just thinking of the tie.
Come on, Jimmy.
Taking a lot of ice on this outturn.
Whack it.
A lot of ice for weight. That's much more ice than China. Yeah, okay, an inch less. Sure. Much more ice than what China
Jim.
had.
Let's go, Jim.
Jim, pretty good ice for him because he has been inside on a lot of his outturn throws today. Now, this is an outturn, so if he's inside at all, it probably was good to have the extra ice.
Come on, stay up, stay up, stay up. It's all right. Come on, it's fine. We're good. We're good, we're good, we're good. We're going to get both.
He gets by. Came close to the side guards and makes the hit. Canadian fans loving that shot. And Jim just a bit tight with that outturn again. And that's been his MO today, having a hard time getting that out to the broom. At least he makes the hit. And there's a chance here for China to draw into the rings and really make it tough for Armstrong.
We're in business.
And Canada with 6 minutes left on their clock. China with 13. That stone just off the ring's not a factor right now. And China just making sure that stone is clean underneath. The official on the side there cleans the stone with a towel. And when regular able-bodied, the players always clean their own stone quickly in the hack. And when they turn it over, that's when that sensor handle, which is not seen in wheelchair curling, when the sensor handle activates. And the sensor handle then referees the hog line for the throw. Enough speed here to make the ring. Oh yes, Bury right in behind. Oh, that's looking pretty good for China with a stop in time. Yes, it does. It's second shot counter. China needs 2 to tie, 3 to win. So the pressure placed from a long high toe under Jim Armstrong. In this game, the battle of the older and the younger. China coming in at an age of 28 average. For Canada, 50-year-old average. So where Canada can age, growl, and cunning overcome youth and exuberance. Well, Armstrong facing pressure here now.
Well, we'll play for the extra.
Hey, Jim.
And Canada, Chris Daw won gold in Torino. And this team, 3 of the players from this team won gold in Vancouver, and boy did that stone ever bury in behind. Well, Jim's weight has to be perfect here. There's really no backing. 3 of the players here won gold in Vancouver. They are looking to three-peat. Defending champions as Armstrong watches that outturn. Looks pretty good. It slides through the hole. Now it needs backing. Will it curl over enough? And yes, it gets it out. What a great shot by Jim Armstrong. A beautiful stone. Meaning that China cannot get 3, only 2. The best China can do is tie on this end. So the big pressure shot there from the experienced man from Vancouver, Jim Armstrong. A beautiful shot. Now there was huge pressure. For anyone new to curling, the strategy is wonderful in the sport, but the pressure is amazing too. It's an amazing game to play and be involved in the pressure when you absolutely have to make a shot and you can't afford to be a quarter inch out or a foot heavy. The last stone. Will it be an extra in? Can China tie? Wang Haito with his in turn. He's a left-hand player. Needs at least the 8 foot to count. China looks on. Plenty of weight. Will it have any backing though? The nip rolls out. No. Too much weight for China as they roll out of the rings for the second counter. And the fans from Canada exploding in the rings. Hugged by Sonia Goody and Dennis Thiessen as they will play for gold. Wow. Handshakes from Ina and Lu Wei, Jim Armstrong and Wang Haito. Canadian fans cheering it up. And Jim Armstrong made the big shot. His last stone of the 8th inning. Wang Haito, a lot of pressure on him to try and tie the game. 24-year-old from Harbin didn't come up with it. And Canada celebrates. Goody, Thiessen, Forrest, Armstrong. They will go to the gold medal game and have a chance at the three-peat. They were 66% in the game. China was 56%. A game that was very, very conservatively played through the first 6 ends. And Russian fans love this sport too. Boy, they have really come out during the Olympics and now the Paralympics. And for China, a great effort by Wang Haitao. And this young team, 28-year-olds from China, they will be heard from in the future. Paralympic wheelchair curling. The youngest team here. They played super. Thiessen congratulates the buddy Jim Armstrong, who pulls them through. Jim didn't have his best game. Only 56%, but he made the shot when it counted. It's heart pumping. And that's the thrill of this match. Ooh, when it is tight and the audience draws a hush, it's all about nerve. And Canada had the nerve right at the end. Tremendous pressure on both skips. I love all the hats from Canada. And many, many fans made the trip. And Canada, total 66% over China, 50%. Canada, a little bit better play, but that was built up upon a very strong hitting game early in the match. So both teams have played a lot of takeout in the first 5 ends. And it's only this 8th end where we saw a lot of rocks in play. Hugs there from Thiessen and Ina. And Thiessen has only played in 1 World Championship and came away with gold, and now gets to play for gold. And here's his first Paralympics. For Ina, it's old hat. He's won gold before, and 3 world golds as well. Well, there it is. Russia won their match over Great Britain on their semifinal, on their half of the draw. Canada snuck through against China. So it'll be the Russian Federation Fairly new, but they have won a world championship before, but not as experienced as Canada. And they will play for gold and silver in the gold medal game in wheelchair curling in Sochi in 2014. From Armstrong, the skip with the nerve. And Sonia, the only player in history to win 2 Olympic golds, will have a shot at a third. Coach Joe Ray talking over his players. He had to be nervous as heck being a coach, and you can't do anything from the sidelines. And don't ever let them catch you not smiling, says Arne Forrest.
One more to go.
Great gold game between Russia and Canada. The number 1 and 2 teams in the standings come through in the semifinals. Coach from China, 5th player, Hu Yun, congratulating Jim. Well, here in Sochi, Russia, 2014 at the Paralympic wheelchair curling was a great semifinal between Canada and China, a very defensive battle. Ended up being tied 3-all after 6 ends of play. It was Canada with 2 in the 7th end to take a 5-3 lead, and China missed their last shot on the 8th end to reply with a 2 to tie the game. So Canada won it by a score of 5-4, and for Canada, the three-peat stays alive. They have a chance to win the gold in Torino, Vancouver, and now they have a chance here in Sochi. The final will be coming soon. Thanks for joining us. Look for us next time. See ya.